So let's get started. Ready? Thumbs up. Ready? Okay. So um, before we get into this, we really need to understand what it is to have grace when you're under pressure. What is navigating challenges with grace? What is that all about, right? So I personally feel like grace is maintaining composure, your dignity, resilience, in the face of any challenge. In the face of challenge. So, like, what do you think it is, Courtney?
So, navigating, whew, navigating with grace. And I was just talking to a friend last night, and I was saying, "Hey, night, hi." So I was just saying last night that we are our worst critics, right?
Indeed.
We can be so hard on ourselves, and I know I'm going through a season to where I'm just really hard on myself, and but I think the more that, because we can easily give grace to other people.
So easily.
But yeah, so easily. And then with that being said, looking at that person's life for whoever we are uplifting, then we start getting feelings. Oh, I probably should have did it like that, or God, look how they did this, and look how it came out. But just because it worked for them, don't mean it's gonna work for me.
Exactly.
So I have to give myself grace in that period. If it's meant to be, it's gonna be regardless.
Right.
So giving myself grace and not think that I have to do it their way, or I have to do it like they put it out. Right. That's giving myself grace. Right. And that's just one example, but it's throughout everything throughout your life. Everything you can incorporate.
It's incorporating motherhood, incorporating when you have tasks to finish.
Right.
Wherever you stand in your life. Some of us are students, some of us are, stay-at-home parents, some of us work or most likely, some of us are like single parents. So I agree that, and you said something, you said, we are our worst critics. We are our worst critics. And I think that's because we criticize ourselves so much, we automatically put a blockage up that, girl, you know better. You know what you're capable of, but we never factor in, maybe we're tired.
Yeah.
People say there's 24 hours in a day, but you don't get that full 24 hours. I am definitely more mindful how I use my time now so that I could get more things done. I have come on this live so many times for the past, 2-3 times, and said, I'm staring at some clothes I need to fold, but I could tell y'all today, there's no clothes on the bed, because I make sure I like, real talk, coming on these lives with you, I'm like, okay, I don't want to look at the clothes on the bed, but I don't want to sit up here and know that I have other stuff that's going on. So I'm like, okay, Anjanae, you have to be mindful of your time. And that's part of, like, I'm my worst critic, or don't give myself as much credit or grace when I have a list of things going on, and I'm like, and I don't accomplish everything. And I'm like, dang. But then I reflect, and journaling is a big part. Like, I reflect, why was your day the way it was?
Right.
Were you tired? Right. Were you sick? Were other things like thrown in the mix where it threw you off? Like, what was it? That's okay. What was it? And for me, a lot of times it's time management. I have a schedule and everything for my kids and the things they have to do, but then I don't have that same structure when it comes to my content or just anything else, mostly with myself. So I make sure I put on a calendar, okay, on Sundays, yeah, you have Arabic lessons, but don't touch nothing else. Take care of yourself this day. Like, seriously, my kids be like, Mommy, I'm like, not today. Today is Sunday. They know that now, but you have to ask yourself,
section at a time.
Take it one day at a time. What is it that what's some things you can do differently to help you along that way so that you can give yourself more grace? And say to yourself, I said this on a story. I was saying, like, oh, well, usually I promote that we're going live, that we're still going live, and the times that we're going live, I usually post my questions before, you know, any live. But what happened this week? I am preparing for my promotion for my Bodon belt for karate. Then I'm also prepping for Ramadan, which that's a whole, like, it's not just, oh, you're going to wake up and fast all day. No, you have to prep your meals. You have to prep how you're going to handle your children and all the extracurriculum things. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm like, I'm just me. And honestly, last year I was like, you knew you should have did this, you should have did that, and you should have did this. But this year I'm more like, I'm saying to myself, Anjanae, it's okay. If you're going to have to order out more than once a week, then that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is, because I'm not driving myself crazy. Okay, husband, I don't know where you're watching me from, but I'm just saying, okay? I don't know if he's watching me on YouTube or on Instagram, but listen, I'm telling him right now, there might be another day added for eating out. But we'll see, because I'm planning on prepping my meals one whole day, and when I say prep, I mean prepping more than one meal.
Right.
So hold on, I just missed some. Yes, I do one section at a time. Yes, you definitely have to do one section at a time. So I want to know, like, some important perspectives, and share your insights to Courtney on, like, how when you get in a bondage or you're facing something challenging, how do you change your perspective? Because personally for me, when I find myself in a situation, a challenging situation, I realize now when I change my perspective into a positive one, it changes the narrative of the situation that I'm going through. So how does that work out for you? Like, how do you change your perspective, or do you have a challenge? You challenge, like, I'm getting tongue-tied. Or is it challenging to change your perspective?
Very challenging,
Mm-hmm.
because so long you've been taught to do things a certain way, and then when you come into your own life and have to build your own lifestyle and your family, it's kind of like what you were raised on is not even something that you can use in this day and time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start realizing, hey, start questioning some things. And so now I'm in the process of rewiring, like, my whole brain to make sure that when our children leave this house or whatever the situation is, that they don't leave with all these issues that I'm having to deal with now, all of these emotions that coming up now in life, if it was done differently, or if, like, generational curses were broken, or if they even have the strength to break it, you know? And so, no, it's very challenging for me. I can't just look at a situation and be like, okay, that's not, no, you can't do that. Or it takes me time. I have to look at it, process it, go through my mind of what I did wrong through a situation or whatever. But no, it's very challenging for me. I can't click it on and click it off.
Okay. So when you say that, like, so when you're facing something challenging, it will sit with you for a while before you can move on.
Yes.
And I personally
hate that.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I realized I had to pick and choose between the battles I was willing to fight. And for me personally, when I was faced with a challenge, I automatically would have, like, an anxiety attack. Real talk. And that anxiety attack would turn into a panic attack, to the point where it can be, winters were not the best time to have the attacks like that I wanted the attack, but winter was the best time because I just needed air. Whereas summer, you're not getting no air. You're not getting no air. You ain't getting a breeze. So I needed that. So when I find myself, and I would react, like, real talk, I would, like, punch a wall. I would break something. I've broken my drawers. They're fixed now, guys. I punched a wall. That's fixed too. But I realized this is not what I want my children to learn. I don't want my children when they facing a challenge and it's building up and they don't know how to deal with it, it results to those things. So what I started doing is really focusing on like mindfulness type of stuff. I'm really saying to myself, Anjanae, you gave this other person some grace. Do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Deep breathing is like one of the best things. And sometimes like when my kids, and it's challenging when I don't, like, I have a village, but I don't have a village.
Right.
So I have my mom who lives in Jersey. I have my mother-in-law that lives in Jersey. And I'm pretty sure if I say, hey, I'm going through some things, they will be here for me.
Yeah.
That wasn't me in the past. Like I wouldn't say I'm having a hard, it's been a struggle, I need help. I didn't do that from before. So now I'm like, hey, I need help. But I've learned to manage or navigate those challenges that I'm having. It can be a lot when your children coming in and 3 of them are doing, have homework, and one is like, mommy, 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 that wants your attention. And sometimes I have to say, guys, stop for a moment. I need a moment. And my safe haven is coming in my room and just, and it just, and in that, every breath is a moment for myself. Every breath is a moment for myself. Do y'all hear me? And then from there, I'll say, okay, I'll think about what's going on. Okay, Samir's asking for this. Azim is asking for this. Rakan needs this. And I'll go out there and say, listen, guys. And I do this thing now with them. I put a piece up. And then when they see that peace finger, come on, Instagram. When they see that piece up, they know that is a moment of peace, quiet.
Yes.
Hear me out. Rakan, just sit there for a few minutes and I'll get to you in 1 second, because I know the way my children learn. Zim, I'm gonna show you this and I want you to think about it, and I'm gonna come back to you and help you on it. Samir, let's do this. And that's how I navigate it, because before I used to be like, I can't, everybody be quiet, yelling. And guess what? Then my children started doing it. And I was like, I don't like this. So I had to start learning to do that for myself, even like before my kids wake up in the morning. And my biggest challenges is just trying to navigate my children, getting out the house, helping them, and things like that. When it comes to other situations like the housework, honestly, I'm just like, there's certain spots in my house, certain sections in my house where I'm like, this needs to be done. Like I need my bed to be made. I feel like I don't even have a productive day if my bed is not made. So some of the strategies I've cultivated over time is like breathing, deep breathing, journaling, and I don't know, like I talk to Courtney a lot. Courtney talks to me a lot. So confiding in that friend that you can trust and be like, okay, I'm having a hard time, and know that they're not going to take what you say and have bedroom talk with their husband or go talk to the neighbor. It's between us.
That's it.
And if someone say, well, how you know if that person is doing that? You know how you know? Because at the end of the day, you would know that based on knowing that they have conversations with other people and they're not having that conversation about someone else.
That's right.
And I've had conversations with other people, and Courtney never heard me come out my mouth talking about anyone else. And
I haven't.
If I'm not part of the illustration, you're not going to hear it. You know what I mean? So that's how you would know. If that person is freely talking about someone else and they're not part of the narrative, then you know that that's not a person you want to talk to.
That's right.
That's not a person you want to talk to. I'm just going to say it just like that. But
that's it.
Courtney, what are some of the things that you, like, how do you cultivate it? Like, even when you're like at your high of high and you're going through everything and you just can't switch it off, how do you eventually get there? Because eventually you do get there. It might take you longer, but you get there.
Right. So I do a lot of journaling daily. Yeah, get on it. Okay, so yeah, I journaling.
Mm-hmm.
Really gets me through. That's what gets me through. I do talk and share things with my husband. Like that's
a given for
literal
me.
Best friend.
Yes, that's a given for me.
And so I know I can talk to him about anything. So and get the real truth behind it. But for me, journaling is because I can write what I'm feeling and I can leave it right there on that paper. After everything, like it'll still take me some while to even journal that down. But to get to where I know I need to be mentally, it's good for me to write it out. And I have journals.
Get it off your brain. It's like brain dump.
Around this house, my room, this office area, downstairs. I have journals everywhere. So I even carry a journal with me. And it's just, if I can mentally see it, I can get it up here.
Yeah. I think that's important. I feel like, I know that, and I'm going to read off some numbers. I asked questions on here on Instagram. I didn't post them on YouTube, but one of the questions was, how often do you give yourself grace? And 40% of people said that they have a hard time giving themselves grace. And then the other, like, 20% was like all the time. Some people said sometimes. I am sometimes, because I'm a work in progress. It's something that I'm still working on.
That's right.
Something that I'm still working on, in all honesty. Then I asked, have you ever found that a change in perspective helped you deal with a challenge more gracefully? And a lot of people said yes. Now, the question I don't know is if it's something that they...
Hi, Jackie. Do I have you guys muted? I don't think I have you muted. They can't hear me on.
What? On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Oh, okay.
What about now, Jackie?
Can you hear? You good?
Yeah, go ahead. She didn't say anything.
Okay, so I don't know the numbers as far as, do you instantly have something to go to help change your perspective, or is it something take over time? But 100% of people said that once they change their perspective, and that means, like, if you're saying, I'm going through a hard time right now and I'm blessed because someone could be going through something way worse. That is changing your perspective. Not that you're like happy that the other person is going through something worse, but your perspective is put into perspective. And a lot of times it's not that serious. I seen Queen Latifah said something like, they was like, what is your best advice that you can give a person? And they said, a lot of stuff that you're going through, it's not that serious. Don't take it so serious. Don't take it so serious. And she was like, that's the best advice someone said. She said, but when she thought about it, which is her perspective, when she looked at it, she was like, you know what? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. So maybe try changing your perspective of the situation. Not that, like I said, you're not wishing anyone else worse off, but you're just changing that this can be, because we know, like, you might be sitting up here saying to yourself, let me think of something. Like, for instance, even though I don't have a huge village of people helping me here, helping me with the kids, I might be like, dang, I'm super exhausted. But then I think about, you know what? I am so blessed that I do have a supportive husband. When he come home, he's like, guys, give mom a break and come in here with me. Or, you know, if I call my mom and say, I need a break, my mom is here, or my mother-in-law is here. So I'm blessed in that sense. And I say, you know what? I'm blessed. There's some people that don't get a break at all. And I don't know if it was a while back, it was a mother that was on live and she was crying, saying she's tired of doing this by herself. She was a single parent. She's tired of doing this by herself. And I guess the father of her child seen that, and he just hurried up over to her and just hugged her.
Aww.
Just hugged her. And something went, and let's be real, like, single parents can be two, in my mind, two things. It could be like you always have your children all the time. No, you and the children of your the father of your children are not there all the time, but because you have your children around the clock, it's a single factor. It's a single factor. And that being said, you feel like you're doing it solo. I've heard parents, and I've personally felt like, I was married and single. Like, because my husband was always working and building a business and taking care of the household, and I felt like I was married but single. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Maybe changing your perspective can definitely help you look at your situation differently, and you can handle it totally different. The next question was, what's your go-to method for staying calm under pressure? 100% of the people said talking to a friend. Talking to a friend. I want to know from you guys, like, what is your go-to method? Is it talking to a friend? Is it deep breathing? Is it taking a walk outside? I personally, like I said, I've come to Courtney about, like, man, I am definitely exhausted and I'm not pushing out my content. Tiff is on here. I have went to Tiff, like, hey Tiff, how do you do it? What are you doing? Because I'm struggling right now, and it's frustrating and it's challenging, and how do you do it? And talking to other people that is going through what you're going through and understand it can help you so much better. Tiff said gratitude and being in the present moment. It reminds you of what you have to be thankful for. Oh my God. Tiff, I know you got me. Tiff, I swear, I called Tiff and it was a million things going on, but Tiff reached out to me. I don't care if it was like a voice text. She was like, this is what I do and I hope it helped. I'm always here for you. Guys, outside of being a parent, being a content creator is hard work. You have to put in hours. It's hard work. Nothing's given. So I'm so thankful for my content friends and just them understanding, not just as a content creator, but also as a parent, because every last one of the ladies that I talk to are working women who are parents, and they do what I do. And the last question.
Hey y'all. Hey Kizzy.
So if you have a friend, talk to that friend. If deep breathing works for you, do that. That's one of my go-tos. A walk outside during the winter, I'm hibernating. I'm I'm not trying to go outside, so you won't catch me outside. Maybe during the spring, maybe during the fall. So grateful for my content sisters. You're a light. Love this offering you're giving. I love you, Tiff. Seriously, I really do. And I'll be in your inbox soon. I'll be calling you soon. All right. I got some thoughts. And the last question was, which area would you like to improve to navigate challenges with grace? And across the board, it was an even amount of people that says emotional intelligence, resilience, and communication skills. I'm big on communication skills, and this is something I learned through therapy. Especially like when I needed help, I wasn't the biggest communicator. Even though Geminis are known to be communicators, I wasn't. If I needed help, I really didn't ask for help. Or when I was going through something, I didn't know how to make it where I was feeling a certain situation versus making them feel like it was them. So that being said, communication for me is one of the biggest things. What about you, Court? What are some of the things that you would like to improve in navigating challenges with grapes?
Just me as a person all around, like in friendships, I want to know, hey, this is what I need from you, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Like, be specific. I need specific details. I need specific things so I don't cross a certain line or I don't say a certain thing, but that is something that I'm learning through, counseling too. I'm going through therapy or whatever, but you literally have to give yourself grace because these things don't happen overnight.
Right.
And I wish I could just be like, girl, change.
Yeah. But it's also a work in progress. It's a work in
right.
progress. So
And so working on it is definitely all I know to do. I mean, that's really, I pray on it, keep my prayers going up to the Lord, pray on it, and just work on it.
But you got to put some things in action. So like maybe like when you find yourself feeling like, oh my God, this is too much right now.
Too much. Yeah.
Maybe deep breathe. Maybe step away. Maybe look at the situation like it's not that serious. Not and when I say not that serious, I'm not saying like, oh, just be like your feelings are not validated. Right. I'm just saying like maybe when you look at it and say it could be way worse. A lot of times when I'm faced with a challenge, and I did this several times. I took a woman entrepreneurship course. I signed up for it with Carnell. And I said to myself, when you sign up, they don't give you the date that you're going to start because it's a free course. They be like, okay, it's starting this day. So my cousin got into the first one. I didn't get into it. And it was like right before, like right when the kids got out of school. So I was like, that would have been perfect, man. The kids would have been out of school. I don't even have to. You know when they contacts me? October. Right when it's in the rim, because we go back to school the middle of September. So it was right when I'm trying to figure out a schedule with the boys. I'm trying to do all this other stuff. And I was like, why God? And instantly I had to change the perspective and say, you know what? If God didn't feel like I couldn't handle this, he would have never placed it on my lap. He would have never gave it to you. That's right. He would have never placed it on my lap. And I finished, and sometimes I will be up at 5:30 in the morning going, doing my assignments. And I bought like this bed lamp that you clip onto your headboard so that I didn't disturb my husband while he was asleep. But I was like, I need to do this. And it was challenging. And it also made me realize, I'm telling all of y'all, it made me realize how much I didn't want to be in school no more. But I got through it, and it was just the best feeling when I got my certificate. Hi, Gina. How you doing? It made me feel like it was liberating. It was liberating because when I got that certificate for that course, I was like, man. And then I prayed on it. I'm like, God, I really want to start learning Arabic. And then I was asking the imam's wife, like, when are you going to do it? And she's like, inshallah soon. And then 2, 3, 4 months went by. And then right when I'm like, okay, I'm testing for my Bodan, what dropped in my lap? Arabic lessons. And I could not say no because this is something I prayed on. It's like, God, I really want to I want to learn how to read the Quran. So now I'm currently in Arabic lessons, and I'm also preparing for my Bodan. And I'm telling you, it's tiring. Some days I say to myself, I'm like, yo, I am tired. I'm exhausted, but I know I can do this. I know I got this. And he's like, you always put stuff on your plate. I'm like, not really. I prayed about it, and then God handed it to me. That's different. So, that being said, next week I test for my Bodan. In another, I think 6 weeks, I'll be done with my Arabic lessons. So I'm really like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm like, I am doing what I need to do. Are you planning to go? I am planning on going to Mecca. Honestly, Gina, I wanted to go this June because Mecca's, and for anyone that's not Muslim, this is one of your obligations as a Muslim to go to Mecca, and at least once. You can go as many times as you want, but at least once. So I really want to go this June, but because I'm turning 40, and it's going to be Hajj is during the time of when I'm turning 40. So that's why I want to go. But I'm not going to be able to go. So inshallah, I'll be able to do that in the future very soon. Inshallah, next year. It's something that you definitely have to plan for. And I want to go with a group of people. So yeah, to answer that question, Gina. But I feel like I'm detouring the conversation kind of. But yes, This was so inspiring. I think about like, dang, Anjanae, yeah, you're a work in progress. Um, but can we give ourselves some grace? Because if we think about the conversation we're having, we have come so far.
Yeah, we have. That
Can
was
we
in
at
like
least
perspective like yesterday.
solidify that and say, you know what? Yeah, I have some work to do. I have some things I need to do, but I am definitely so much further than where I was.
Mm.
And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself, even
That's
though.
why Gina bought a badge. Oh,
Oh,
thank
thank you
you.
so much, Gina. I love you. I'll probably see you later. Actually, you probably won't because the boys are probably gonna get on the bus. But um, I I don't know. Alhamdulillah. Like seriously, I am just in this moment. I've come so far. Even us going through what we've been through last week, the week prior, being sick and all that, we still showed up last week. We showed up today. And it's hard when you're trying to juggle family and business and classes and extra curriculum between you and your children and
Mm-hmm.
still remain sane.
Mm-hmm.
Can we give us some grace for that? Because life is challenging. Every day we wake up is challenging. But every day we're faced with challenge,
Yep.
we just work through it. And that's part of growth. You have to learn from the things you go through.
And then when you look at it too, and you come to like you're looking at yourself today, and you're like, what have I really accomplished, or what have I really done in life?
Mm-hmm.
You just really sit back and look around. Look around yourself. You
Your
see your beautiful
surroundings.
kids. You see your
Yes.
husband. You
They're
see
healthy.
friends. You see in whatever religion you are, Christianity, Muslim, you see the ones that's gonna be there, the ones that's been there, and you realize, wait, Lord, you brought me this far. Like I've accomplished a lot, even though I can't maybe physically in a business or whatever, but like mentally and emotionally, I've grown so much within the last 6 months. And just to think of that, and even going through counseling, I had emotions for so long, but now I'm having to deal with them. I don't have a choice. Right. And so just bringing all that mess out, like you told me today, if you got to cry it out, cry it out.
Cry it out. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's going to really help release some of that stress. It's going to really release some things that you're going through. Cry it out. And I had a moment today with Anjanae where I was just over here, crying. And
I was like, it's
really
okay.
Get through that moment.
It's all right. Like, no judgment. It's all right. You cry it out. It does more harm to hold those emotions in, regardless, no matter what challenges you're facing, whether you're in school, whether you're trying to get your business off the ground, whether you're stagnated with your business, whether you're trying to do something new in life just to better yourself. There will always be challenges, okay? Always. There will always be challenges. Do you hear me? My friend Janice has said this to me, and I love her so much. Because every time I went through something, I thought about this. And I want y'all to take this, and then we're going to hop off because I have to go get my baby too. But I want y'all to think of this. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. What's important is that you don't stay there. You get up. Janice, she said that to me. I remember when I was a new mom. I had Samir. And she said, it's okay to be down. But what's not okay is that you stay there. So even if you got to be a little stagnated off the chair a little bit, you know what I mean? It's okay. You fell, you're stagnated on that chair trying to lift up. That's what matters. Nobody, when you start a business, what happens? You might get a million no's when it comes to investing. But all you need is one yes. One yes.
Just one.
Just one yes. And I'm going to tell you right now, I walk in to situations like, it's a yes for me. And they might say no. I still be like, it's a yes for me. Because at the end of the day, God never counts me out.
Never.
And he said, and think about this. when a person say no, or a situation is like no, just keep in mind that might be the blessing that you needed to pass. Change your perspective. I swear, I change my perspective all the time, and I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. But these are some of the things I say to myself because it's something bigger and better. When one door closes, another one opens.
That's right. That's
life,
right.
Life is, and like Tiff said, life is living in the moment. Live in that moment. Be in that moment. Enjoy that moment. Because what is that moment? That moment is the present. That's the gift that God gave you. Tomorrow's not promised. Yesterday is gone. So you learn from yesterday. You live in the present and you appreciate the present. And if you want to plan a little bit for the future, it's okay. But leave a little room for disappointment because I'm sounding like Shaquille saying because tomorrow is what it's supposed to be. That's going to be the new present. That's going to be the past. So just keep that in mind when you go through things. That all things don't last forever. That you have to just perhaps change your perspective of what you're going through, and then from there, learn from that situation. Learn from that situation. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn from it. So, do you want to say anything else, Courtney, before we jump off?
I just really enjoyed this one. This one was definitely one. It was needed today.
Right.
It was needed today, and I just really enjoyed it. I just thank you for thinking of me when you wanted to put this into place, because it's
of course
the community.
As 100%. And this is for everyone who's here live or watching a replay. Just know this community of Empower Her is to uplift you, motivate you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself.
That's it.
This is a safe space. No judgment. You can even DM us once we get off. We will answer you.
We sure can.
So with that being said, make sure you use the hashtag Empower Her. And then also for this live, the hashtag is, what was it, Courtney? I forgot. Grace Upon Grace. Hashtag Grace Upon Grace.
I'm putting Empower Her in here.
Yeah, Grace Upon Grace. Our next live will be March 8th. And if you didn't know, it is International Women's Day. So we will be talking about empowering sisterhood and building each other up. So make sure you drop your questions. Make sure you follow Courtney and I so that when we shoot out those questions that we actually talk about here live, you'll be a part of it. I love every last one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Like I said, March 8th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 hers is a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so tongue-tied today.
Did you say hashtag Grace Upon Grace?
Yes. Grace Upon Grace. So, guys, I love y'all. See y'all next week. Bye.